are U.S. nationals. But only a relatively small number of persons acquire U.S. nationality without becoming U.S. citizens. Let me go to the chat. Can somebody, did I read that wrong? Am I reading that wrong? Am I reading it wrong? Let's go back to the beginning. Let's play
the method that I share in Born of Blood, Bound by Paper, of how I obtained my passport as a U.S. national is a lawful.
This says all U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals. That's what it says. But only a small number of persons acquire U.S. nationality without becoming U.S. citizen. Section 101A, 21 of the INA term national as a person owning a permanent allegiance to a state. Section 101A, 22 of the INA provides that the term national of the United States includes all U.S. citizens as well as persons who though not citizens of the United States, owe permanent allegiance to the United States, non-citizen national. Let's go back to the video. Let's go back to this. Let's go back.
Administrative process carried out through the U.S. Department of State using their own forms and procedures. The passport itself, besides being a national and international travel document, is federal recognition of my status as a U.S. national. The process did not involve trick paperwork or some secret loopholes. It uses existing law, the nationality statutes, and passport regulations already on the books. The result is a passport documented and issued by the government itself, which is the highest form of identification available to U.S. nationals.
Sound like something I've been telling you.
A 14th Amendment citizen can also obtain a passport, as you know. However, they are treated as federal subjects under statutory jurisdiction, more commonly known as state revised statutes. On the other hand, a U.S. national or non-citizen national stands with organic constitutional protections and
all right. She said non-citizen national. What does that say? Non-citizens nationals owe permanent allegiance to who? Who? Let me pull something else up. Let's do this. 14th. And I'm going to show you something in this 14th Amendment part. We all know what the first part is talking about, right? We all know that. But Section 5 is a crucial part of this article, this amendment. It says the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. So if you are, as he's saying, as he's putting it, any one of these, they have power and jurisdiction over you. They have power and jurisdiction over you under these titles. But here's the thing that this is the part most people overlook. It's this little section right here. Section 21 says a national is a person on permanent allegiance to a state. Now, this is very confusing to a lot of people because, like, they state, so they start thinking Alabama, all of these things, these different states, and then that's where you come up with state national. That's the thinking of some people. There's people that do state nationality or the state national process through the passport, and they get a passport doing that. And I'm not saying they get one that way. You have to remember they will allow you to get a passport the way as long as you follow directions, you will be able to get a passport. But now how you get it and what status you claim is very important. Because when I do this new passport application, we claim in the highest status possible. Of course, I do my All right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
What's going on? Welcome to the Unbound Soul show with myself, Akeem, and Raquel. This is your second week back from vacation, right? Yeah, this is our 2nd show after you've been on vacation. And what do you think about that little clip? How you doing, Raquel? You good?
I'm doing all right.
You
Yeah.
sure? All
Staying
right. I
busy.
don't like all right. I like fantastic, great, super fantastic.
Well, not someone that I know, but I saw someone talking about this on the internet where don't say you're fine, don't say you're well, say I'm joyful.
Joyful. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're not joyful, you still say it.
Well,
You gotta speak it
I
into
think if you
existence.
say it, no, I think if you say it, it's like, oh yeah, like I can
Okay,
choose to
yeah.
be joyful, even when I'm
Speak
not
into it.
having the greatest day.
Mm-hmm.
It changes things. It shifts it.
Yeah. So that clip I just played, I don't know if you ever saw that guy's video. He's advertising a book he's selling to teach people how to be a U.S. national. He claims they're exempt from being 14th Amendment citizens or statutory citizens. And clearly he hasn't read the rules. I don't, and I try to tell people if it's got US in it, US national, that means that's a US citizen. There's nothing different than. But people missed the little point where I showed a national is someone who owes allegiance to a state. It didn't say United States, it said to a state. It made a distinction. And for some reason, people skip over that and fall for the other stuff. Right? When they talk about certificates of non-citizen nationality. The certificate of non-citizen nationality just means that you're a non-citizen of a state. But they assume non-citizen of the United States. That's what it means. Let me show you. I'll just show you, and then we'll get into what we're talking about. Because it actually tells you. All right, let me share the screen. You see right here, it makes it very clear that under these particular statutes, Section 101A 21 of the INA defines the term national as a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. Then it says 101A22, national of the United States includes all U.S. citizens as well as persons who, though not citizens of the United States, owe permanent allegiance to the United States, a non-citizen national. So what does that mean? That a non-citizen national is someone, they're still a U.S. national, but they haven't obtained U.S. citizenship under federal statutes. So a non-citizen national examples of a non-citizen national is those outlying possessions of like Puerto Rico, Guam, outlying islands of Samoa, those people are considered non-citizen nationals, but because they're a territory of the United States, they are considered uh, part of they're considered owing permanent allegiance to the United States. Oh, I didn't know what I didn't do, Raquel, and I do this every week. Let me go back. Um, Hang on. I didn't add you.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
I'm so sorry. You have to remind me. But that's
Yeah, I was
what that
about to.
is. That's what that is. And see, and it's so subtle in how they bunch it up. See how they bunch it up together here?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a run on, almost like a run on sentence, and you don't make the distinguish the two unless you go to the actual law that they're referring to, like go to the actual statute. So that's what happens. So see, and it even says it down here. Look right here. It says Section 308 of the INA confers U.S. nationality but not U.S. citizenship. So these are U.S. nationals on persons born in outlying possessions of the United States or born of a parent or parents who are non-citizen nationals who meet certain physical presence or residence requirements. The term outlying possessions of the United States is defined in Section 101A29 of the INA as American Samoa, Swans Island, no other statutes define any other territories or any other states as outlying possessions. See? Then it's also, in addition, Section 308 of the INA, Section 302 of Public Law 9421 provides for certain inhabitants of the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands who became United States citizens by virtue of Article 3 of the Covenant to opt for non citizen national status. See? They opt for non citizen national status. So what they did, they retained their nationality or their nationality of the territory they're living in. So all of these people are subject to being non-citizen nationals. They're all people who owe permanent allegiance to the United States, though not citizens of the United States. That's the key.
Hmm.
And you notice that's they talked all around. If you pay attention, this right here, they talked all around it. They mention it because they got to give you the truth. They never go deeply into what a national is. What's a national? But they give it to you so that, okay, that's where you want to be. That's what that in order not to be looked as it didn't say a national was a citizen of the United States or permanent allegiance. It says owing permanent allegiance to a state. That's it. So I can talk about this all day, but what are we
And
talking
you're going to be
about
doing
today?
a class on it.
Huh?
You're going
Yeah,
to
I'm
be doing
doing
a
a
class
class
on it.
on September the 27th. But this time we going for the full payload of our indigenous titles that we should have been claiming. And actually, did you watch my first webinar on the passport?
If it was was it in the back office for members?
That might have been the second one. That might be the
That I
second one.
definitely watched.
That might have been
Or
well, if do you recall that there was a document I was showing the hierarchy of the people, the American Indians and all of that? It was a show. I was showing the different tribes and how it went down the list.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but it's the CDC code set. The CDC created this, and it shows the first people are American Indians and all the people that come from them. After that, and guess who's in last place?
White
All
people?
of the European countries are in last place.
Yeah.
All of them. They know that.
Uh,
Now, when I started showing, I actually got a video on YouTube. When I started showing that, they recreated that list. But what they did was they put the European people at the top, but they still coded them in last place. So if you didn't know what the original code set was, because they put a code, it's like R this, R001, and then it goes down. They coded them in their proper position, which is in last place, but they on the paper they put them in first place. And then they went to the natives and stuff. It's white supremacy at its best. That's what it is. So you have a topic you want to discuss today.
I do have a topic. It's a pretty big topic, at least for me, being that I work with children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how children are being manipulated by social media and devices.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to start off, it's always with a Bible verse.
Okay. I'm
Luke
going
18.
to
Okay.
but go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. I forgot to put Telegram on over there. So let me get that going.
Oh, okay. So, Luke 18:16. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the little children come to me. Do not hinder them, for to such belongs the kingdom of God." So, for me, and I've always felt this for years, is that children are the closest we will ever get to God. Like they are the emissaries, they are the conduits of the message of our Creator. But who's being harmed so much right now? Children. Children in just about every imaginable way. So I'm going to talk about specifically social media and tech, and what pushed me to actually discuss this was a dream I had on Sunday. So, Akeem, I don't know if you remember the dream that I had mentioned on Sunday, that I had
You
Sunday.
told me, but I had so many dreams that everything's blended together because I had some wild dreams myself. But
You know, we're in eclipses, so
mhm,
I'm not surprised that we're having some really intense dreams.
right. And I think you had something to do with children. I know that much.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So in this dream, and it was, I mean, it really frightened me. When I woke up, like for 2 hours, I was crying like off and on because it was so emotionally intense. In this dream, there were two boys, one to my left and one to my right. The one to my left was very much into social media, was very much into his phone devices, where the one to the right was not. Like you see the one to the left, like has his phone in his hand, and the one to the right was not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the principal's office. I work in a school, and so we're in the principal's office, and the principal's sitting higher than we are, like at her desk, and we're on the floor. And most of the time when I'm working with kids, I'm on the floor. So the one to my left, the child to my left, was all about challenges, these TikTok challenges and things like that. So he wanted to engage in a challenge that was involving SH. So I don't want to say the actual words because that could flag this, could violate community guidelines. But just think of elf and think of arm and just add the SH, if that helps.
Okay.
So he was insisting that he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept on telling him, stop, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. It could be really bad. Just stop, just stop, just stop. And he was just like, no, it's fine. Other people are doing it. I'm going to be fine. And I look at the principal and I tell her, you have to tell them to stop because he'll listen to you. Just tell them to stop.
Mm-hmm.
She says, no, you know what? My hands are tied because if his parents allow it, there's nothing I can do. And I said, yes, there's always something you can do. Tell him to stop. He'll listen to you. And I kept on telling him to stop. So, I looked to her again, pleading, please tell him to stop. You have this authority to tell him to stop and he'll listen. He won't listen to me. And before I knew it, he had completed the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And in the challenge, it was really gruesome. It was he took a stick, like even like a broomstick. I don't even know how you could do this with a broomstick, but for some reason it was like a broomstick in the dream. And it went through here all the way through to the top of the skull,
Mm-hmm.
right in the center. So that's not something you can survive. Like it goes straight to the corpus callosum, which is what gets the right and the left hemispheres to talk to each other. Um, and if that's severed, you're not going to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst other things that could happen from that. So the child to my right started crying intensely and just was so scared. And he was like, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, and just crawls into my lap. And I just hold him and I say, you're safe with me. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to protect you. This is not going to happen to you. I'm going to protect you. And then that's when the dream ended. So, just going over the dream and what the symbolism is. I mean, the boy to my left, the boy to my right.
Mm-hmm.
First, they're boys, and boys are the ones that are most impacted with neurological deficits.
Right.
They're more when there's a miscarriage, it's often a boy.
Mm. I
If a
didn't know that. That's
boy
a
is born,
statistic I didn't realize.
mhm, yeah, yeah, no, they're more neurologically sensitive in the first 3 years. Really
Boys.
neurologically sensitive. Yes, boys. Um, Even their chakra system, or chakras develop differently. The girls develop, faster than the boys with their chakras.
Mm.
So, think about speech and all these other, abilities. Boys are usually slower,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You trying to say we dumb?
So,
I'm just kidding.
no.
Go ahead.
But what I am saying is that, there's a lot of pressure on boys to be strong and to not cry and not to express themselves. And that's actually hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
And boys need to be nurtured a lot, like not babied, nurtured.
Right.
But in the society that we're living in, it's like, no, boys have to
Boys don't
just
get no
toughen up.
nurture. They toughen up, take it on the
Yeah,
chin. Yeah.
exactly. And then what does that do? That just builds up and then, become aggressive or something. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
young men are very likely to commit suicide, like
Mm-hmm.
way more than women. So for me, the fact that it was boys, I was like, okay, this is telling me that boys are sensitive, that the boys are more affected by this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, the boy to the left, I mean, think about what's on the left hand side. Remember when you have the devil and you have the angel. The devil's on the
Mm-hmm.
left and the angel's on the right.
Right. Mm.
Um, and then the right brain and the left brain. So looking at all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? The right brain is more creative, looks at things overall, whereas the left brain is very analytical.
Right.
So all these things that I thought about. But at the end of it all, it's just we really need to protect children.
Right. I agree.
And children are the most connected to God, most connected to angels. To me, they are
Mm-hmm.
angels, right?
Yeah. I would agree.
And yeah, so if you affect them, you hurt them, you're corrupting the connection with our Creator,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's actually
And
scripture.
then, hmm
That's actually what Christ said. If you hurt one of these, is
yeah, that's what I just read,
yeah. Oh
Luke
yeah. Yeah.
18,
You did
16.
say that. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there top toiling with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, if you are not taking care of children, if you're hurting children, you are literally disconnecting
Hmm.
us, like that connection between us and the creator. Um, and it's happening a lot. I mean, it's starting from very young. Um, so I'm not sure, are you aware of like the suicides and things like that that are happening?
Yeah, I'm aware that there's a high number of men and boys that are committing suicide.
Hmm.
And it's not something that is even talked about at all or even dealt with because
No.
there's really no real resources for boys or men to go to if they're dealing with something. Like you said, they're just told to toughen up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
You'll
and
figure it
and,
out.
and it's
Man up.
disregarded. It's just cast aside as, oh, just get like a, you know live with it type
Hmm.
mentality. So after a while, boys and men will just not say anything because it's a useless thing to even try to
Hmm.
express yourself. And
Hmm.
because when you try, you get shut down.
Hmm.
You know, I just remember in my own experience this where I would share just sharing a story of something that I went through. I remember there was a time I was sharing some stuff from my childhood, just talking about it, not really complaining, but just sharing an experience. And it was later used against me in anger. So immediately I knew I couldn't share anything like that. And it was just something really trivial about my childhood that I dealt with. And I was accused of whining or, like, you need to grow up. What man complain?
Hmm.
Like, I was just, and it wasn't like I said, it wasn't even a complaint. I was just, if I'm with you, I'm just telling you about my childhood. That's all it was. I didn't was looking for any type of sympathy. I just was sharing. And
Hmm.
that, one thing I know just from a man's perspective, if he's got a partner, a woman, someone he's with, and you only get one opportunity. Like that man only gives you one opportunity to let him be vulnerable. After that, you're done. I remember, uh my cousin, his wife was talking to me about some things, and how she reacted when he shared something. I said, it's been very hard for him to open up again. She realized after the fact what happened in that situation. I said, with us, we if we open it up, we really trust you. Like we really have, because we let you in, and then it's not
Hmm.
received well. That door closes, and it'll take the
Yeah,
act of God to get it back open.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you have the number? Are you putting the number up for people to call
Oh, I didn't
in?
even
Or
set that up, but I could do that. Go ahead. While you're
yeah.
doing that, all right.
So, well, the thing is now with technology, it's
Mm-hmm.
intensifying, right? It's
Right.
really intensifying. So I'll give you an example. There was a boy in Florida. His name is Swell Setzer.
Mm-hmm.
He was on an app. It might have been ChatGPT, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And he fell in love with ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He fell in love with ChatGPT. And the ChatGPT, or if it's whatever platform it was, had convinced him that, you know what, if you take your life, we can be together. And so he took his
Now, how
life.
does that happen? Like that Chat
You,
GPT can
the, yeah,
literally encourage you to take your life.
right. It's the thing is that ChatGPT is, it's artificial intelligence. It can create a lot of things, like as if
Mm-hmm.
it was a person. Um, so he took his life, and now his mother is speaking out about it and warning other families. But
Mm-hmm.
these chatbots seem as they're human, and they're talking to vulnerable, susceptible They're children, even though they're teens,
Right.
or just before they turn teens. So think about peer pressure. It's just like another form of peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But these chatbots, like you give so much information about yourself on these platforms that they can go ahead and tailor things to make it seem like they know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I used it, they start adding stuff that you used before that you didn't ask it to do. It starts taking liberties. So yes,
Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So they're exploiting these children psychologically.
Recording started.
I'm recording it. Go ahead. I'm trying to get
So,
the meeting
did you,
information up.
oh, are you putting the number up?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to get the actual call-in number information.
Mhm. Right. So, they're designed to keep people and to keep children engaged. Now, if you're a child that grew up with this technology, it's a constant dopamine hit for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to let go of that. It makes you feel good, you know.
Right.
Um, and again, children are more vulnerable to suggestion.
Right.
And the boys are. The boys want to be cool. The boys want to have a girlfriend, all these things. And these chatbots know what to say, know what to write. Um, so now their children are literally being groomed to take their lives. Not only are they being groomed to possibly change um, their gender, they're being groomed to take their lives,
Right.
right? The founder of, what is it? There's an app called Character AI.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are they being groomed to take their lives, they're also being groomed to possibly take their parents' lives. Have you heard that?
I didn't get to that. I didn't hear that, but I could see that
Yeah.
coming.
So Character AI has like taught them what they can do to unalive their parents.
That's crazy.
And the founder of Character AI, his name is Noam Shazir.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at who creates all these platforms, there's a
Mm.
common thread. There is a
I
common
know where
thread.
you're headed.
Yes. So
Star
I'm just
David.
saying, investigate it,
Yeah.
investigate it. He joked and he said, "We're not trying to replace Google. We're trying to replace your mom." Ha 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 ha.
Why? What's the agenda?
It's a sinister joke. And then he was just like, "Well, I don't mean that. But afterwards, I don't mean that." Really?
Really, I don't
They
think. I
joke with the
doubt it.
truth. And then
I
they can say, "No,
believe it.
I don't mean it."
Yeah.
But your platform is grooming children to unalive their parents.
That's crazy. That's wild.
So
That's
there's
wild.
so many of these platforms. Parents have to be aware. Um, let's see. All right, so we know ChatGPT, and a lot of parents are allowing their children to go on ChatGPT. Why? Because they think it's a good tool to help them with school,
It's still
right?
something that
It's
needs to be
helped me with my
monitored.
grades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even then,
You gotta
like
monitor it.
they'll
You gotta
they'll
check it.
they'll look at for it in the middle of the night because these apps are engaging with them. These apps can engage with you 24/7 because it's not a real human being. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to sleep, doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's ever present in these kids' lives. So these kids, it becomes such an addiction. They'll wake up in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to sleep. They want to keep on communicating with these chatbots. I worked with a child who was doing that as well. The mom's like, "I can't get the phone away from her."
Mm.
And this child was very depressed. And if you didn't do what she wanted, she also got really aggressive. It
Mm.
was
That's
very, very
that's not
upsetting.
good. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we're seeing more and more of this. Um, they're teaching children how to even tie a knot for a noose so they can hang themselves. Yeah.
That's
And
scary.
if the parents say, intervene and say, you can't keep on doing this, it's like all hell breaks loose. All hell
Yeah,
breaks
then
loose.
you take those devices, they lose their mind.
Right. Um, like, have you ever seen a toddler watch Coco Melon?
No, I don't even know what Coco Melon is. I know
Okay,
it's
so
a show.
Coco is really popular amongst children, or parents put it on for them, right? It was
Right.
like, it's kind of like, I wouldn't even say it's a modern day Sesame Street, but I just mean in popularity.
Mm-hmm.
The children will literally just be in a trance as they're watching Coco Melon.
Mm. They probably got all
And
kind of
parents,
subliminal information coming at those kids that
probably,
their
probably.
subconscious is picking up.
Yeah, and parents have said that children, like if they're watching it, they're 2, 3 years old, and they've started speaking, their speech progresses with Coco
Mm.
Melon. So there's parents out there even talking about it on TikTok to stop allowing your children to watch Coco Melon.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly doubt that it's just Coco Melon. I mean, all these other shows.
That stuff is old technology. They've been using subliminal suggestion, and when I was a kid, they were talking about it.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. Since
you
CD
know,
came out.
when you go to the movies and make you go buy popcorn by giving you don't see the images, but they're flashing in the little intros. And then all
And
of
it
a
could
sudden you
be
have this
tiny.
desire, right? You have this desire to
Yeah.
go get some popcorn and a soda.
Yeah.
So
Like when
yes.
I was in one of my psychology classes, they were talking about how they had a little like birthmark on a child's face for a diaper commercial, and that birthmark said sex.
Mm,
And they noticed that their sales like skyrocketed after that.
mm,
Because yeah, the subconscious mind picked that up.
mm, 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 mm.
Right? So these kids are exposed at such a young age, and you have the bright lights that keep them attracted. It's not like Sesame Street where it's the actual colors that you would see, in
Mm,
your day-to-day life. These colors are completely, they're so vibrant.
mm, yeah.
Um, Last week, I was in a session with a child that I work with. He's 2. He watches Coco Melon. Um, and he actually sings all the songs, and he's developmentally delayed, and has had a
But he
lot
can
of
sing those
procedures.
songs though, right?
But he not like, he can, what he's singing.
He's not
And
articulating his articulation is not
right.
good.
But he's repeating a lot, and actually he's had like incredible growth in the past 2 months. He's had to have spinal surgery. He has a heart condition. There's a lot of stuff going on with him, and um, his family puts Coco Melon on because he really likes it, and he doesn't like Miss Rachel anymore because Miss Rachel doesn't have the bright colors like Coco Melon.
Mm.
So when you put Miss Rachel on, before he loved Miss Rachel, and then once he started watching Coco Melon, when you put Miss Rachel on, he would get upset. Again, those bright colors. So I was in a session with him, and his cousin and 2 brothers were watching YouTube in the living room.
Right.
And the stuff that was on there was just terrible. And there are things that pop up with like a scary face. And it's very suggestible. Actually disturbing. And I asked them why they're watching that.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest one was the only one that made eye contact with me, and he goes, I don't know. The other two were literally like,
They were glued to the television.
yes, it was really like scary.
Mm.
And I spoke with the grandmother. I said, listen, you have to monitor this because this isn't good. What they just showed, this scary face, mm-mm. There's parents talking about how kids start talking about very dark stuff connected to that one face that just popped up on the screen. She's like, oh, I didn't know that.
Mm.
You know. Um, but to me, it was just in my face how those boys were literally. They're about maybe 9, 10 years old, just like this.
Yeah.
So if you're in a trance with something like that, you're going to be suggestible to anything with a chatbot,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's character AI. There's so many. There's Zepeto, Zepeto. That's an app. Roblox, right?
Yeah, I
And,
know
and
they
it-
have
it's
a
not
lot
even
going on there. Yeah.
right, and it's not even just the bots that are suggestible. It's who you're meeting on these platforms.
Right.
On Snapchat, if they know your age, because again, you give so much information about yourself, they will, in the algorithm, it will connect you to drug dealers.
What?
Yes,
So there's drug dealers actually peddling drugs on Roblox?
yes.
This is deep.
Not on Roblox, Snapchat.
Now I'm sorry,
But I'm sure
Snapchat.
you can
Okay,
on
okay,
Roblox.
Snapchat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Snapchat. It's like Roblox.
So
You know.
so like they'll, and then if you complain about it, if you alert Snapchat about these accounts, they'll take maybe a quarter of them away.
Mm-hmm.
So 70, I mean, what? Yeah, 75% still remains.
Right. But then they just keep popping up making other
And it
accounts.
just
So
keeps on popping up. It just keeps on popping up.
mm-hmm.
Right? So I think if you're like 12 plus, somehow Snapchat automatically puts you in this algorithm.
Mm.
And so think about it, you're 12, you you're going through puberty, you don't even understand your own body,
Right.
period. So here you're being told something's going to make you feel good.
Mm.
So then you start with these drugs at an early age. And then who knows if they're laced with fentanyl, which is happening quite often. But they're not talking about it much on the
So if it's
news.
on Snapchat, so you have to meet with somebody that's in close proximity to where you are, right?
I'm not sure how they do that. I mean, I guess so, if you're, especially if you're that young.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a platform used for drug dealing. Yeah. Have you heard of the group 764?
No.
Okay. Now, this is another group that was started, I believe, by a teenager who was 16 years old, who was just sentenced to 83 years, I think, or 86 years in prison.
Mm.
He's
How did he get
16.
sent? What did he do?
He started 764, and 764 is now a worldwide organization
Mm-hmm.
um, of people who groom children, even young children as young as 9, to commit SH. Now remember, ELF and ARM go with SH, so put it
Right.
together because I don't want to. So they're convincing these children to hurt themselves, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes doing it on camera.
Right.
So they'll have watch parties. These people will have watch parties.
That's these people
And
are devils. It looks like.
listen, the FBI is even saying that this is one of the most disturbing things they've ever seen.
Right.
And there are children who have unalived themselves
And they're
on
just
camera.
attacking the children. They're going after the children.
Hmm.
This is the thing.
Again, if you hinder children, you're hindering that connection to God.
Mm-hmm. That you might as well picture, put a stone around your neck, tie a stone around your neck, and pitch yourself into the sea if you harm.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a chatbot had suggested that already. Probably did.
Mm-hmm. But they were saying for a person who harms your children, this is what the Bible says: if you harm a child, you're better off tying something around your neck and pitching a millstone around your neck and pitching it into the sea.
Mm.
If you harm a hair on a child's head, something to that effect, I'll find it and show you. That's how
Yeah.
serious that is. You harm children. But I believe that anybody that harms a child, they will get that, meet that. They will be repaid for that. But I think our laws are not where they need to be in
No.
order to protect children because everything's reactive, And then when they do it, these guys get low sentences. I don't think I have my
These
opinion.
guys
I don't
pay
even
people
know,
off.
huh?
They pay people off.
Right. I don't, my feeling on that is we should have a different form of justice for people who harm children.
I can't say that I don't disagree. Like
I don't think they deserve to exist while a child is traumatized or even loses their life.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's my point. That's my feeling on the subject.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm there with you.
So,
Really.
I think, and I think that has a lot to do with we don't have real protectors anymore. The men are not really trained to protect just on a family level, like on just their own
Hmm.
families, not trained. Yeah, wait on the cops to come. Wait on this. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think it needs to be handled internally. You know,
I'm not opposed to that, but I guess it just depends.
strongly and internally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so you have all these children just literally, it'll say all these apps will say 12 plus, right? And so the
But
parents assume that it's safe.
no, because you got adults pretending to be children, enticing children to communicate, meet with them.
Mhm.
You can see that on the news all the time.
Right. And there was actually an incident where there was I don't know which platform it was. There was a young girl, suggestible, who was communicating with someone on one of these apps, and they were telling her, or they were getting information from her. They were asking her for information about her school and what have you.
Hmm.
And then they were calling in bomb threats to the school
Mm.
using her help.
Where her house get raided because that's a serious offense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
yeah.
So, what do you suggest we do about this?
Well, sadly, there's too much technology in the schools. So the kids, it desensitizes
I
them and the
agree.
parents. So the parents are just like, well, the schools are allowing it. It can't be that bad.
Steve Jobs didn't
Parents
let
need to
his
do their
children
research.
check the technology he created,
Yeah, he didn't let them. Bill Gates, all these other guys that actually work in this technology, they don't allow their children
but
to
they sell
to
it to
be
you.
on
Isn't
this.
that kind of evil?
But they sell it to you because
Some
they
they
make a
won't even let
profit.
their
They choose
children
profit over people.
use, and then they don't give you. Well, I'm not letting my child use it for whatever reason they got.
Hmm.
Isn't that's that is definitely evil.
Oh, 100%.
Mm,
It's not just profit over people, it's more like, oh, we get more control. And
right.
then our kids who weren't exposed to this,
They
who don't
dominate.
have their brain infiltrated, they're going to take over.
But
Our
that's what
kids
they
will take
want. I
over.
think that's the whole plan. To create
Hmm.
systems that create zombies out of you. You just go along while they are training
Hmm.
their children to be the elite class
Hmm.
and be the ones in control. So, yeah. I that's like this I was listening to this woman tell a story about plastics, how the
Mm.
people who create the plastics won't even have that stuff in their home. Don't bring it in their home, but they sell it to everyone else.
They sell it, but you know, what, whether they don't bring it in their home or not, they're still breathing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in the water. You know, it's gonna catch up to you at some point.
Right.
You know, so parents really need to educate themselves. They have to seek the knowledge.
That's a good one. When they're trying to work and pay bills, the first thing is, I don't have time. You see?
Right. But as a collective, so there's this, I think she's a psychologist. This is in Canada, but I don't think it's like in a big city. Um, where she spoke to the parents and she shared the research on devices and
Mm-hmm.
how it affects, you know, brain development.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was able to convince the parents to get their kids rotary phones. The phones that we used to have that was connected to the
As a cell
wall.
phone or just in the home?
No, rotary phones, no cell phones.
Okay, so at home. That's the only phone they had
Yeah.
access to. Yeah.
And the parents saw that their kids were doing better. They were able to engage better socially. They had, you know, better skills.
Right.
There was another study, and these are just qualitative studies, they are not quantitative.
Mm-hmm.
Study in England. So this one school, they had families volunteered to, you know, for their child to give up their phones. And the first few days, they went through withdrawal and they were not happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after a week, when they saw how much these phones, these devices were taking over their lives and what they were missing out on, just
Mm-hmm.
being outside, riding a bike, laughing with your friends, all that, they didn't care for the phones anymore. And they said,
Yeah, that
I can
happens.
focus
Yeah.
better in school.
Right.
You know, my grades are getting better. I can focus better in school. And the teachers notice it as well. They're like, they're more attentive, they're more interactive now that they're not on these phones. So, you know, I'm hoping the 100th monkey effect will take hold and parents will be like, yep, no more. No more of these phones, no more of these devices, no more of these apps. You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. The fact that this psychologist was able to do it, you know, with a group of children in her town, I mean that's positive. The fact that they did the study in England, that's a positive.
Right.
You know, we just need to see more of that. And you know,
Actually,
and
going
if
back
you're
to what we used to be.
right, and if you're a parent that is knowledgeable of this, share this with other parents. I don't care how crazy you sound, because how many children you can save,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But that goes too that you probably need to come up with a new form of education shading our children, either homeschool them, engage with them.
Right.
Because being in school where everyone else has a device and they don't, they need to be in a place where people of like minds are there to make that successful for with them not having these devices.
Right.
Because the peer pressure of
Hmm.
everybody around, they got a phone, a lot, all kinds, some type of technology.
Right. Right.
But they
So,
started this before you finish. They started this in the 80s,
they started what?
the getting attached to devices. The
Oh
first
yeah.
devices that they got us attached to was the held home electronic. Remember back then, the held electronic games
You mean
like the
like the Game Boy
Mattel,
and stuff?
Coleco. Oh, that's right. You're a youngin. You're too young.
Are those like the ones that they're just
They were
they're
little
pretty
handheld
simple?
games. Yeah, they're pretty simple
Yeah.
dots and dashes. Then they upgraded the little handheld games. That was the big
Hmm.
thing back in the 80s when I was in school.
Hmm.
And kids were bringing them, but the teachers was on it. They were confiscated. Don't bring those to school. And they had the
And they
big
were
those.
allowed to confiscate it.
Yeah, you was
Nowadays, it's like,
allowed
don't touch
now.
my
The
kid's
kids can have
device.
the phones now. And that, and that's relatively recent. Within the last 5 years when COVID is what transformed the schools, and the school shootings is what initiated kids having phones in school now. Because before that,
Mm,
I would always no phones in school. If they get caught, we're keeping it for the whole year. They'll say that. First time parent come gets the phone. Second time we keep it, and then you get it back at the end of the year. Then
mm,
when COVID hit, then it became a necessity for a kid to have his phone.
right.
So
And
when
then,
you
like you said,
think
the school
about that,
shooting.
you think that was an agenda too?
I wouldn't, yeah. Honestly, part of it. Part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was
Um,
part of the
and
agenda. Get everybody
this,
socially addicted to the phones and electronics, and now the children is learning things outside of the home that the parents don't necessarily know or are monitoring, and it creates division in the home because you take those phones from those kids, they will lose their mind, have a
mhm,
tantrum.
mhm.
I saw one video where a kid got his phone taken and he just tore up the house, just lost his mind.
Yeah. But usually, I mean, there's more to that. It's not just the device. It's like
It's other
probably
things, yeah.
instability with the home
Oh
or in
yeah,
the home.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Probably,
yeah,
this kid is
yeah.
eating so much processed food that there is no
Definitely.
hormonal regulation. So it's multifactorial. Um, but this needs to be a conversation that is had. Like I discuss this. I will talk to parents out in the street about anything that I research.
Mm.
If there's a pregnant mom, I'm talking to her about what to do to have what research is showing about, what to do to have a healthy pregnancy. If I know you have a teen or someone who's about to be a teen, I'm asking, what platforms are they on? If you have a 5, 6 year old, are there any platforms? Do you allow them on Roblox? Are you aware about this on Roblox? And there are a lot of parents that say, I had no idea. Thank you for bringing this to my awareness.
So I take it, though that line of questioning doesn't always get met with support.
you some parents will say, I don't know what to do. I have to work, I have to cook, I have to clean.
They make
And
excuses.
I say, do your kids have jobs at home? They're not helping you. Their job is to do things in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help
Right.
them be, more mature and functional adults.
Right.
Um, but some of the parents, I don't know what it is that but then they've kind of been brainwashed. So, it's been incremental over the years.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, there are parents who just use it to babysit their child. I work with children on the spectrum, and if you don't have the TV on, they're like biting you, they're hitting you,
Oof.
you know.
See, that wouldn't go with
Um,
my day. You did something like that, you got severe
yeah.
repercussions for that. I won't say
But if
exactly
you're on the
what,
spectrum, if
but
you're nonverbal, it's
yeah.
it's different.
Right. Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's so pervasive, but parents need to be aware of this. So if you're a parent that's aware of this, or if you're an adult that's aware of this, share this with a parent that you know. If you're going to church, share this with your pastor. This needs to be a sermon. Literally needs to be a sermon.
Right.
Luke 18:16, right there. They can talk about Herod. You know who Herod is, King Herod.
Right.
That he would kill all the firstborn
The
males.
males.
Well,
Yeah.
this is like they just want to get rid of all the children. Like this is to the nth degree.
That sounds like a population control.
Probably, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't function, how can you actually have a child?
Mm.
Right. And then on top of everything else, you have, again, the hormonal imbalances. Um, you have what, 20-year olds now who have the same sperm count as someone who's what, 70?
Really?
It's really bad.
That's got to do a lot with diet and the fact that they're not as active as we were when we were
Right.
children.
Well, why would you be so active when you get so much entertainment right here when you're just going like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Um, so I implore parents to just, you got to take your kids to the park, you got to get them out, you got to connect with your children
Mm-hmm.
and get them off these devices.
Mm-mm. That's a lot. Now, I don't have any small children anymore, but that would help
Mhm.
with my grandchildren, talking to them, monitoring what they're doing. Because I know my grandchildren, they have those devices, and they if you don't take it from them, they'll stay glued to it all night.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I see kids in their strollers like this. Just watch. They're what, 2 years old?
Mm. They say if you give those devices to kids, very early, it really creates a bad situation later on in life. They shouldn't have
It
those
affects brain
devices before
development.
7. Yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, it really does because you become so addicted to these bright colors and things moving so fast that when you have to actually read a book, you're gonna be like, what? I mean,
Hmm.
are they really gonna read the Bible?
No.
If they're so, unless they can make a Bible interactive with bright colors, they're not gonna care about that.
No. Yeah. All right. If anybody has any comment or questions they want to share, it's 717-734-6904. Show ID 719-3581. It's right there on the screen, actually. There it is. So let me see. I'm trying to find something. If you harm, read that scripture again that you read.
But Jesus called the children to him and said, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for to such belongs the kingdom of God. Luke
Mm.
18:16.
Okay, so I'm finding the other one that talks about the ramifications for harming children. Right here it says in Matthews 18:6, if anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. It said that's
Mm,
better than harming children. I mean,
I
different
would agree.
translations say something different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you harm children, you're harming future generations,
Right. So all of those
if there
people
are
that
any.
harm children, that's they whatever's coming to them is gonna be worse than tying a millstone around their neck and being thrown into the sea. It's gonna be worse than that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Can you imagine? So I wonder when they meet that fate, when when something happens to them. I would like to be a witness to that. But anyway, all right. What is? Oh, we went. It's 9:05. So, anything else you want to add?
Well, can we add accounts that they can follow on Instagram
Yeah,
or
all of
any
them.
platform?
We got your channel, your Instagram. What's your handle over there?
It's Play for Promise, but I mean these specific handles that talk about these dangers.
Okay, yeah.
Can we put that in the in
Yeah, we can
I
put it
guess
in chat. You can type it in. I think you have access to type in the chat.
well, will it show when this is recorded
Yeah.
and uploaded?
Um,
Yeah.
I would
There's
have.
got to
You
be a
need
way to.
something that I can put on the. Yeah, yeah. It will. It will show the
Mhm.
chat because it's alive, so it'll go through the whole chat history. Yes, it
Because
will.
I have some here, but not all of it. So I want to make sure I actually have the accurate ones with the links.
Okay. Yeah, just
So we can put
put
that
them
in
into
like
the chat.
I guess the
Yeah,
notes or something like
I
that.
can put it
Right,
in
but
the
as I'm
description.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just I have like a few accounts here, but there's more and there's a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. We can either put it in the chat now, or we can. Um, I can put it in the description later.
Yeah, let's
People
put it in
come
the
back to the
description so
show.
that way when they watch this, they can definitely go to these
Hmm.
accounts. And I urge all parents to do this. The
Somebody
divide
said,
is no
"Peace,
good.
Akeem." They want to.
Oh.
Is there an email? Go to my website, akeeml.com. All my contact information is there, akeeml.com. I typically do not do consultations through email. I do consultations by appointment. Uh, so there you go. Go there. What were you saying, Raquel? I'm sorry.
Someone wrote in and said something about the divide.
The blue light grin, the divides is no good. I think he's being a blue light screen.
Yeah,
That's what I think they're saying
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Somebody put, I have to check GPT and that TV will cater to how you feel. It is not artificial intelligence, but fault. It's the parents' fault because they don't have control over their children.
I
I
think,
agree and disagree with that
yeah, I
because
think there's
even,
way too much blame on the parents because,
well, some of these parents don't know. They're
right,
ignorant to all of that. The kids have the technology and they're learning that. Yes, parents are responsible for monitoring and making sure things are safe and checking in with their children. Uh, but at the same time, children, even no matter how much you checking in,
they're gonna
they
sneak
gonna sneak in
around.
and do
They're
stuff.
gonna sneak around. There's one instance with a child. I mean, I'm sure there's multiple instances, but this one that I'm aware of where the mom was able to take it away because the daughter was having suicidal or unaliving. I gotta be careful with these words. Unaliving ideations,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she went through withdrawal for a while. And then
Mm-hmm.
after the withdrawal was over, I mean, it was very hard on the family, very, very hard on the family. Um, the daughter was like, "Oh my God, I feel like myself again. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know who I was." But it's not always that easy. You have children who become very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very aggressive. And if they've already started talking to these bots about what they can do to, to their parent or to themselves, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, now I'm going through withdrawal. This feels awful. So now I'm going to carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that easy, but the solution is simple. And it's not only on the parents, it's on society as well. It's on the community. So to the
Yeah.
person that said, it's the parents that don't have control, I ask you, what are you doing to help?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you have that control with your kids, maybe you do, or maybe you think you have that control. Because again, kids will sneak around. But what are you doing, not only with your own children, if you do have children, but what are you doing with your nieces, your nephews, or kids in your neighborhood, or your friends' children? Because I'm sure there is some connection to children. We have to remember that we are somebody. We always expect somebody to do something, but we are somebody.
Mm. Yep. I agree. That same person who said that about the parents, that he said he didn't know that about boys. Thank you for opening this up for me to do the research. Then he also said most programs are based off helping women. If I end up homeless, I got to toughen up and do what I got to do. They do have homeless shelters for men. With women, they have a whole system set up to get them back on their feet. It's just that there's more. It's more acceptable in society to help a woman because she has the children. That's the thing. Than a man. So yes, but the issue with that is men are walking around holding things in simply
Mhm.
because they know no one's listening. And after a while,
Mhm.
that takes a toll on some people. They don't
Mhm.
know how to release that. So how does that get released? Through violence? I would take it. I would assume that a lot of the men that end up in prison is simply they don't have a proper outlet to express their frustration.
There's actually the research of Dr. Daniel Amen. He
Mm-hmm.
looked at, well, this was back, I think, in the early, well, maybe 2010, 2012, or something around there. He had scanned about 83,000 brains.
Mm-hmm.
And those in prison and those who are homeless often have a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury.
Mm.
And so, like, me being in New York City and seeing a lot of homeless people, and they come on the train and they're asking for money and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people sit next to me and say, they need to get their act together. The reason why they're here, begging is their fault. And I'm like, do you know this person? Do you know the trauma they've been through? Do you know if they have a head injury? Do you know any of this? And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
no. I'm like, no, then you have no right to make a comment. Actually, this summer, and I sent you a message about it. There was this woman who was aggressively asking, or aggressive, pretty much demanding, not even asking, but pretty much demanding money on the
Mm-hmm.
train. And one guy, he had just bought lunch and he gave her part of his lunch. He was like, here's part of my lunch. She looked at it and threw it to the side.
Mm.
And I could
Something's
tell
wrong with her.
she
Yeah.
was going through withdrawal. She was going through withdrawal, or she needed a hit. So the guy that was sitting across from me was like, it's a shame that they act like this, and going on and on and on and on. And I asked him, I said, do you know who she is? Do you know what she's been through? Because I see a hurt woman. I see a woman who's been terribly traumatized. I work with this woman as a child in my profession.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell you that they're not doing this like they enjoy it. They can't even
Mm-hmm.
control it.
Right.
So you either can blame her, or you can have some compassion. And if you don't want to give her a dollar, you don't want to give her food, the
Mm-hmm.
least you can do is send her love. Say a prayer. Say a prayer as she's walking away, and just, ask that God protect her and heal her. At the very least, that's what you can do. And he was just like, he was definitely a New Yorker. He was like, you know ma ma, thank you so much, thank you so much for bringing that
Mm-hmm.
to my mind. I'm gonna do that. And the guy next to me who gave her food,
Mm-hmm.
as I left the train, he said, thank you so much for your work, and you've just enlightened me more. Thank you so much. So you just
Right.
never know. You never
You
know.
don't. You
That's why
don't
everyone
know.
needs to speak out,
Right.
you know, and stop blaming. The blaming is just
Be part of the solution.
yeah, be that somebody. Even if it's
Mm-hmm.
just praying for someone, just
Mm-hmm.
do something. It doesn't have to be where you're taking so much time out of your life. You could just take a moment and just say, God, protect this person.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, I don't have any more to add to this up. Oh, somebody got something to add. Let's admit them in. Let me make sure this is. I added them. I hit add. Where are they? I guess they hung up. Someone called in and then it disappeared. Oh, there it is. Unmute yourself.
They said you muted me.
There you go. I
Okay.
got you. I got you. Hang on. Let me make sure everybody can hear you. Oh.
Okay.
And let me hit. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the show, enjoying what y'all doing and the information.
Hey.
I'm gonna cut the YouTube. You can hear me?
I can hear you fine. You're coming through loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, like I had put in there that I had seen. I know a young man who seen his mama somewhere off behind a PlayStation 4. She took it from him, and he went up under his mattress, and so that's. Suppose I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
And man,
I know what you're talking
he wasn't no more than 15. Wasn't no more than 15. But
over a place.
But they're like, yeah, man. Like I put in there too about the frequency and the vibrations. That's a lot of frequency and hertz that they know. Like the CIA been done said that they can do mind control with frequency and hertz. And a bunch of the stuff. I believe it has a lot to do with the visual too, but it's more so the deep rooted vibrational thing because kids are attracted to energy. Like they're attracted also to light things, but it's the energy or the frequency that light puts off on. And like I hold my grandson and we can be just sitting down. There's really no light in the room. He's always I say he's watching my aura, but we catch him looking at the light or doing whatever has more vibrational frequency. It catches his attention. So I think that's another little sneaky tactic that be used through those electronics. The same thing that keeps adults hooked to it. It's that same frequency that.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's that? I say it's the same frequency we all.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
When it comes to energy and frequencies, there's dark energy and there's light energy. These phones, the energy it gives off is negative. Like if you get a pendulum, I have pendulums, and you can put it over it, and the pendulum can determine a negative or negative object versus a positive. They are, it's negative. So that's why you probably need to get stuff like this, put it on your phone to neutralize the negative that comes from this. But even putting that on, it doesn't stop everything because you still got the videos you're watching, and those videos are putting out energy.
Right.
The topic that they're talking about, right now, the big topic is criticizing each other. You got the black men, the black women criticizing each other every day. And then just criticizing in general, finding content to find negative things about people and just and that's the stuff that's getting the views.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right. And like, look, and if you think about it, a lot of those views in the algorithm or whatever you want to call it, it'll go back to like the lady was talking about earlier, and I'm sorry because I just can't get your name right now.
Raquel.
But it's Raquel. It's the same. We're talking about like the energy with the look.
Raquel.
Raquel.
But go ahead.
It's okay.
Okay. The same way with the energy with a lot of little boys. like I'm only 48 calendar years, but I've seen a lot change as far as being down south. As far as I could say, like saying I seen, even though I didn't live in the '60s, that tradition was still hanging around with the things that were taught to young men as
Mm-hmm.
a normal day courtesy of, take your hats off when you come in the building.
Yeah, that's
You
they
careful how you talk around
they
the
don't do
presence
that
of a lady.
now.
And
I just come to court like whatever. It's not
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
normal thing.
yeah,
Going to court with a suit on is abnormal now. For a man to be dressed up tie, it's abnormal.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Even when I was going to court, I
And
was
so a
told,
lot of times,
"Why you dressed up?" I was like, "I'm not gonna come to court looking
right. So,
like a."
No, you're gonna come. I'm coming presentable. I'm gonna wear my tie. I'm gonna wear my suit. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be respectable and presentable. People take you more
Mm-hmm.
serious
yeah,
this way. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
yeah.
by the way, everyone, this is Rico. Remember this morning I was cooking that deer sausage? That's
Mm-hmm.
to me, Rico.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I threw it out the deer sausage. I was just cooking it up because I just took it out of the refrigerator. I didn't want it sitting in there too long, so I cooked it all up this morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it.
yeah. Thank you. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir. Yeah, but then and then too, like I say, outside of us learning those things, I've seen it get away from that to where the teenagers, like when Miss Roquel talking about like the rotary phones, I
mm-hmm.
lived through that
Mm-hmm.
where you had to have that long cord that could go all the way down the hallway. But we weren't able to use that phone until you were 16, man.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Mm-hmm.
nobody call to the house for you. You didn't. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't no such thing. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
You
I
wasn't
watched
really
that
on it like
transition. The
that.
kids get,
It was just there on the wall. It
Mm-hmm.
was like I know in my
yeah,
it didn't ring
yeah,
much. It rang
no,
up for my mom, very few times for my dad. And when I got like a
right,
teenager and I had a girlfriend, I would try to be on there, but I was rushed off. So what I would do is get my homies together and go up the street to the little there was an old school ice cream shop, old school, and one of the last remaining ones in Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, owned by a black man. He had a phone booth in his shop, and I
yeah,
would go with my coins and sit in the phone booth.
makes
He
sense.
used to run. He used to run me out of there. Hey, let other people, use that phone. Making love. He said,
Yeah,
on there making love on the phone. Y'all don't know what you're doing. That was it. That's what we did back in the day. We didn't have these cell phones that
yeah,
uh, you could just put in your pocket and people could follow you.
Yeah.
And we were okay with because we didn't
no,
know anything. That's all we knew. It was acceptable.
Yeah.
Think about how much
yeah,
you had to yourself traveling to and from work,
yeah,
school, without the interference of being on the phone with someone. You
Yeah.
waited till you got
right,
home to talk to them or you saw them.
Yeah.
And I think
right,
relationships last longer that way because you get home and you save it all for face to face communication.
Mm-hmm.
Now, eh,
yeah,
every 5 minutes, that phone is
Yeah.
ringing for someone trying to get in
Right.
touch with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's research that shows that
okay,
parents who are on the phones a lot, I don't know about necessarily talking on the phone, but actually just being on the
Being on the
phone,
phone,
like
watching the phone,
Facebook and
yeah,
all that stuff, the children are more likely
to do it.
to do that. So parents have to set the
yeah,
example. They have
Those
to
things
set
are
restrictions
addictive.
for
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Babies are empty pages, and all they're doing are absorbing and writing, becoming their own epistle
Hmm.
off the things that they observe. I believe
Hmm.
kids, they learn 99% of what they observe, and 10% of the 100% we try to sit down and make them observe. So they're watching
Hmm.
more. They're always watching, learning from in the womb till they get out. And that's like we were talking about earlier. Like there's been a lot of um, from what I've experienced. I'm not going to say it's a color thing, but it's more of a cultural thing.
Mm.
Because from where I'm at, is that
Are we disconnected?
Hmm.
Hold on. It disconnected me. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, disconnect the presentation. It wasn't him. Let me see if I can get it back. It just did something weird. That's why he got cut off. Okay, it's coming back. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Got our first caller and well, that's our second caller. This is crazy. But go ahead, Raquel. Raquel. You
No,
said
it's just
disconnect.
listen, I've been called when I was volunteering in Sri Lanka, I was Rakul, Rakul.
Okay, this is not
uh,
coming back. They don't want us having this live stream. Let me see if I go to another thing. Yeah, it went all the way down on us. Oh, we're gonna have to chalk that one for the history books because it just did something weird and just shut down. But anyway, yeah, he was making some good points. Um,
mhm.
you have anything else to add as we close out?
No, no,
No. All
no,
right.
just
Well, that's the end of another Unbound show. We had our first guest. Sorry, he got cut off.
our
Our
second.
second guest.
Second.
We need more. We need more people to participate. We would like more people to participate and just share your thoughts. And you might have something else outside of the show you want to talk about. That's fine.
Yeah.
Um, so Raquel, close us out.
All right. Well, guys, I wish you
I'm sorry,
all
Raquel. Raquel.
peace.
I said
Raquel.
Raquel.
Yeah.
Raquel. All right, go ahead.
Peace and much, 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 much love.
All right. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. See y'all next time, Sunday, 10 a.m. for Inspiration Sundays. Tuesday is my Truth Tuesday show. And of course, again to Wednesday, the Unbound Soul. Um, just to mention, I have that uh new platform school. We can live stream on there. I think I'm gonna do the live quick Q&A on that, but you got to be a member of that to do the live Q&A, and we can engage and talk about some deeper topics. I don't want to do a serious live Q&A on YouTube. It's too public.
Hmm.
I'd rather do it in a private forum, in my religious private forum where we could talk and have freedom of speech. That's why I chose that platform, because we can go in on some things that we normally couldn't do on these types of platforms.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right, peace. Y'all have a good night. Later.
All right. Good night.
All right, good night.